bicycling tends to numb my wrists and hands. It's really annoying. Maybe I'm a little too heavy, but leaning on a handlebar all day long if I want to take a day trip is really tiring my wrist and hand. So in this video I'll share with you what I've done about it, especially focusing on gloves design features. But I want to start at the handlebars. This is my bicycle in its transport case. Of course, over the years I tried double wrapping the handlebar. The first layer is this high-vis green, and the second layer here, only on the upper part here, double wrapped around the hood here. Of course it's extra weight, but it makes the handlebar chunkier, bigger, easier to grab, spreads the pressure more. It does help. Is it perfect? No. And of course handlebar wrap is heavy. So let's take a look at these gloves. Of course I buy gloves that are all gel padded. And the first one works the least and is made by Specialized. This would be the make and model on it. There we go. That's how the tag looks like. And that's how the padding looks like on it. Now I tend to roll my hand out, lifting my thumb, so most of the weight is here. So padding on the thumb side does very little, nothing at all. So it's just there in the way, making thumb motion, whatever, restricting thumb motion. Yes, it does articulate or bend a little bit, but that's not the big thing. The big thing is that right here where most of the pressure is generated, it's just simply not thick enough, not good enough. Okay, so these gloves, this design lasts me, I don't know, half an hour or something like that. I don't like it because it doesn't really help with my wrists and hands going numb. So nothing wrong with the glove, it just doesn't work for me. End of story. This one works better. This is MEC, and the model number or model name that says XXL, the model name is visible on the tag there, but just in case it's hard to read, it says Bolt there. So that would be the model. This one is well loved, had a few wipeouts in it there. Ouch. However, these gloves last me an hour, so if I take it on a day trip, they work well because the padding is worked out in a way that it's the thickest here, thinner here, and no padding here. Sensibly better than the Specialized in this manner, or in this way. So there's no padding or very little padding here, more padding here, and even more padding here. So I really like this design. It works in the summer really well, but after an hour I still tend to put my elbows down on the handlebar like so, both of them sideways. No, I don't have a tri-bar to grab, I have nothing. So, but on the handlebar I spread the pressure with on my forearm here, and that's how I ride. Yeah, it's, you know, if there is no traffic, it's not dangerous. Another idea that I tried is this. This is not bicycle glove anymore. This is Alpinestars motorcycle gloves with a hard knuckle guard on it. So what's the point here? Full finger gloves, I can use this on a motorcycle. It's only good for summer, but on a bicycle it's good for spring, fall, and a little bit in the winter if there's not much rain. But in the Pacific Northwest, where I ride most of the time, although sometimes I just spent a year in the Arctic, whatever, so it yeah, with too much rain it doesn't work well enough. But let's look at the palm padding. How does this look like? It's being cross-stitched and reinforced, and some of these gloves you can see how it's worn here for two-finger shifting and two-finger braking on a Kawasaki ZX6, but let's get back to bicycling. There, you can see it's worn there, but so what's there in it for bicycling? Not a whole lot of padding at all. So I added my own padding in the form of 2 pieces of foam garbage that I cut out of an even larger piece of foam garbage that comes with shipping items, whatever, and I just find it in the garbage literally, and it's a closed cell foam, like so. I like sitting on these instead of sitting on the cold ground. Nice. So I just cut 2 chunks out, and they work. How well do they work? They work just as well as these ones, so they last about an hour, and after that I have to put my elbows down on the handlebar. So the best gloves so far do not come from a bicycle store or a motorcycle store. They come from the hardware store. They look like bicycle gloves, but they are not. The brand is Horizon on this one. This is the newer version. Unfortunately, the newer version doesn't work as well as the older version, so I kept the older version, much loved and appreciated and well worn. Very ugly, but let me show you the design features on this one. These gloves are sold for workers operating impact tools such as a jackhammer for all day, for an 8-hour shift. 8 hours, bicycle ride all day long. Yeah, bike packing, bike touring, rings a bell? I hope it does. So these gloves work the best for all day bicycle touring. Yes, the shock absorbing layer is heavy. It's not going to sag away from your hand. You're going to be grabbing the handlebar. So let's see what's inside. I haven't cut it up, but you can see some of the foam showing here, and I lost a gel pad from here, but you can see this gel pad material. Okay, that's how it looks like when it's in. You can see that it has both foam and underneath a gel pad in it. That is really nice, shock absorbing, and really helps with preventing fatigue and my wrists and hands going numb, because they are sold for workers operating power tools. So this is the absolute best I could find, and it just happens to work for all day riding. A little bit heavy in the palm area, and therefore the gloves are hot. These ones are super lightweight and run cool. So these ones are hot, so you sweat in it, but they work. Now the newer design, I thought, hey, I'm gonna replace them. They are really ugly, and I lost this gel pad from here. And yeah, this is a goatskin palm, and there's no way of stitching it back together. So same stuff, goatskin palm, and I bought it, and they are nearly flat. Problem, they are cheap. They cheaped out on the padding, so it's not torn on the inside here, but you can find the same three pieces of separate gel pads in it. I don't know what's in it, maybe nothing, so they don't quite work because they changed the design. That's why I'm hanging on to the old one. And yeah, you can see where it's worn most. This is where most pressure point is, where it's creasing the most on the outside right here. That's where I need most padding, and unfortunately it lost it from here. So I might harvest this piece of gel pad from here and try to put it in here, but even so it's impossible to stitch this skin back together. I'm still looking for a replacement equivalent to this, because this one is a downgrade from it. So this is the absolute best that's worked for me so far. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps you if you have the same problem, your hands, wrists going numb on the handlebar for after 15 minutes, 30 minutes, after an hour, whatever, look around. So hardware store, homemade motorcycle gloves, whatever, elsewhere. Some bicycle gloves, you have to try a few and see what works.